Joris actually did something really cool. I think he actually built a Kamino connector to enable his strategy. Let's take a look.
Hey, I'm Joris, part of cohort 12. I've been working on a systematic monitoring for leveraged JLP positions on Kamino. Basically, I had this problem where I couldn't constantly watch my leverage position, but I also couldn't sleep well, not knowing what was happening. That's why I'm a big fan of QuantSlab and built my strategy based on it. In terms of the GLP, it currently yields around 29% APY, but it's also a crypto portfolio underneath, so it's important to know that there's 47% of Sol, 8% of ETH, and 13% of Bitcoin. So when I start to leverage this, I really wanted some automated monitoring of my position. And my hypothesis is that the conservative leveraged with proper monitoring can actually be safer and more profitable than going too aggressive without any systematic risk management. So let me show you what I built as my hypothesis. Kamino offers a multiply functionality out of the box and the UI to manage the position, but I need a system I could customize and eventually use across different protocols. So I built this 3-level system: calm when the LTV is under 63%, warning between 63 and 77%, and critical about 77%. And I run a task in QuantSlab, which checks every 50 minutes the health of the position and sends me a Discord message when the status is not calm. In terms of the strategy design, all key parameters like the thresholds, the wallet addresses are configurable, and the system shows me everything I need: current LTV, buffer to liquidation, APY, and PNL in a clean Discord format. Let me go to the overreaching architecture overview. So I built on the Hummingbird gateway since it's already handled Solana connection well, and I added a Kamino connector and put the monitoring logic in QuantSlab. So that's what I got right now. And I basically made everything configurable, as I said, so that I can tweak thresholds easily. Let me show you how the data flows through the system. Really quick. Let me jump into the code. So I'm in QuantSlab and I added a Kamino connector, and you see I have a bunch of different endpoints, methods on this connector, which basically then calls different endpoints on the Kamino market. So they offer RESTful endpoint already, but the routes I expose are not that many. The most interesting one is, for example, the position half endpoint, which gives me the leverage and the current LTV of my position. So if I go into the Swagger UI, I also see that I have the connector Kamino, and then I could hit the position half endpoint, for example. And then you see that I'm currently leveraged with 1.5 and that my current LTV is around 32%. I could also check my PNL, for example, on this position. So the market pub key is basically the link to the market on Kamino. And as I said, they also have a UI. I get the same values from them as well. So I back tested that I actually have the right numbers. If I get, for example, execute that one, that my current PNL measured in US dollars, for example, 9.1 US dollar, which seems to be correct, right? That's in terms of gateway. And then I have in QuantSlab a task to basically get all sorts of things. Let me quickly. So let's go to the position half. So whenever this task runs, I, for example, get the position half and the PNL. Then depending on the state, as I said, if it's not a calm state according to the LTV thresholds, then I also want to get an alert. So that's what this method is then doing. Okay, that's the monitoring thread. Let me head over to Discord to see how that interface. I have a Discord bot for this particular QuantSlab task, and you see I have basically 3 commands. I can ask proactively about my position status. I can then start the task to run on the 50 minutes frequency, stop the monitoring, and then there's an info endpoint. So if I head over to Discord, I created a channel where I integrated my bot into it. So I can ask, for example, info, Then I see the current configuration in terms of the wallet and market and also the gateway. So you see I'm running gateway locally right now. And I can also ask for my position status. Takes a second. So again, P&L is still at $9.1, leverage around 1.49, and then the buffer is 52% to the liquidation threshold, for example. So the position is green and everything is good. I could also then start my monitoring. So that's what I would do normally. And now it checks on a 50 minutes interval the position. If it's good, then I get no notifications, just stores the state into the MongoDB. Otherwise, I would get notified here and it would show either like a warning or a critical state. That brings me over to the current state. So that's the current phase where I am. It's basically just the monitoring, like a passive managed or actively managed position, because I have to be active as a human. So you see running the task, fetch the data, calculate the position, and then the evaluation is basically just about the alert which I get. But then I have to be manually manage the position. In the future, I want to have at least a semi-automated strategy running where I can then basically just check off, for example, the position rebalancing act. And if this works fine, then I would also go into full automated flow. That's it. Thank you very much.
That was really cool.